Hello everyone. In this video we're gonna learn how to find the image of a point, then the domain and range of a function, and all of this from the graph of a function. Alright, let's get into it. So let's start with f of 2. So first of all, here we are looking for the number that represent f of 2. So here usually we have f of x equals to y, right? So we can identify the 2 to the x, that's my x, and I'm looking for the y that corresponding to x equals to 2. All right, so on the graph, the 2 for the x is this one, right? So how can I determine the image of it? Is really simple. You just have to trace the vertical line going through 2, intersect the graph. So this is going to be your intersection, and then from there you're gonna base the horizontal line, and you are looking for the coordinates on the y-axis that intersect the horizontal line from there. All right, so what this mean? It means that this point has the coordinate, this point over here on the graph has the coordinate 2 for the x and has y equals to -1 over here, right? So then f of 2 will be equals to -1. So this is your first answer. So now I'm gonna try to do another point. For instance, if I'm looking for f of 1, what might be, right? So again, I determine the 1 on the axis, trace the vertical line, intersect the graph in this point. So you're looking for the coordinate of that point, and then the horizontal line from there, and that's going to be -2. So the coordinates here are going to be 1 for the x, -2 for the y's, and the answer is going to be -2. Now there are some variation. So an example of this, what should be f of 3? First of all, I look at the 3 on the graph, 3 on the x. All right, so this is the x-axis and this is 3. Now if I trace the vertical line and intersect the graph, it happens to be the same point. So then if I trace the horizontal line, it would be this one. And the point that I'm reading, although it's not really clear, is this point, which is 0 here, right? So the coordinate in there, it would be 3 for the x and 0 for the y. And this is going to be 0. All right? So it's not always given that you're going to be outside of the x-axis or the y-axis. All right? Okay, I hope this explains it. Now let's go to B. Determine the domain of f. So by definition, what's the domain? So the domain is the projection of the graph on the x-axis. So what the meaning of this is? Too simply, is the shadow of the graph on the axis. So the shadow of the graph, if I had a source of light coming from the top or from the bottom, so this is a vertical projection. All right, so the shadow is going to be casted in here. So, and the shadow from as well from below is going to be casted from here. All right, so and this is again the shadow is going to be casted all the way here, right? So now where do you read the shadow? The shadow is actually on the x-axis, so this is highlighted area in yellow, and you can see it over here, right? So my shadow on the x-axis, obviously if I have open circle here, the shadow is going to be open as well here, right? So you're going to be open circle on -4. You're gonna shade all this part and keep going and keep going. All right, so all of this is shaded on the x-axis. All right, now there is an issue here that the graph is not really stopping in this point. Since there is an arrow, it means the graph is gonna keep going forever. And if you're gonna keep going as well, the shadow is gonna keep going. All right, so therefore from here you're gonna go all the way this direction. All right, so how can I notate this? Since I have all the way on the right side is plus infinity, and here is starting from -4. -4 is open, infinity is open, so the answer to this is gonna be open -4 comma plus infinity. All right, okay, so the same way we define the range of a function as a projection of the graph of f on the y-axis. So again, we're gonna do a shadow thing, and the shadow this time is not going to be a vertical shadow, however it's gonna be a horizontal shadow. Means you have source of light on the sides, from this side or this side, right? Then keep in mind that the graph here is kind of tricky, that you're gonna keep going all the way. All right, so therefore here the shadow of the graph, if I am on the right side, if I start from below, you're gonna go this way. So this is only for this part. However, there is another shadow as well coming from the other side of the graph, right? So it is double shaded. Regardless, still shaded. That's all what we care about. So then the shade here gonna keep going all the way up, and this obviously is gonna go all the way to infinity, right? From the left side, I have a shadow as well coming from this side. So now maybe you are thinking, oh, okay, this is open circle, so here is supposed to be open, isn't it? Not really, because open for this point only, but this point is shaded. So the shadow in here is gonna be shading that missing part. And as well shaded from this side, from the right and from the left. So if it is open, it would be shaded by other points. All right. So then what is your range? The range, we say, gonna go all the way to infinity from that side up, and obviously gonna stop at -2. So now -2, is it open or closed? Well, since this point is a real point, or you can see it is a shaded point, right? It doesn't say open. So this point is gonna cast a closed circle as well here, or really a shaded point. There you go. So this is your range. You're gonna start from -2, and you're gonna keep going all the way to infinity. All right, so how can I write down this? Since -2 is shaded, so I'm gonna use a bracket, -2, and then it goes all the way to plus infinity, this direction, and this is gonna be this one, right? And infinity always open, right? So it's always a parenthesis, and that's all.